Look like a damn Sith Lord in this lighting. What the fuck? I am your father, the Dark Sith Lord. You guys are gonna have to deal with that today. I'm sorry. Got the fucking light side and the dark side going on here. I want to continue talking about kind of like what I've generally been talking about on this channel, which is the letting go technique. The letting go technique involves you sitting with your emotions and allowing them to be there with no resistance. And the emotions that you experience appear in the body, not in the mind. So your mind basically makes up stories around the emotions that you're feeling in your body. It's friggin' hot. And yeah, I look less like a Sith Lord now. So yes, your emotions are basically, you can distill them down into just like energy fields in your body. And then your mind paints a story about them through thought. And the letting go technique, you basically sit with the emotion, the felt sense, and you just allow it to be there. And you rest your attention on it without going into the stories around it, without going into the thoughts. And if you haven't meditated before, then it's going to be a lot harder because you're going to more identify with the thoughts and the emotions on a personal level. And then the technique isn't quite as effective. So what I think is a prerequisite for the technique is to essentially understand your true nature experientially, not intellectually. So your true nature is that of consciousness. It is not personal. It is ultimately everything that arises is not it. Whether that's a thought, your field of vision, your sensation in your body, the smells, the memories, the things you hear. Those are all secondary to what you are. What you are is a space, essentially, in which all of that appears. And there's nothing personal in it. So all stories you have don't truly reflect who you are. So every time you say like, oh, I'm a scientist, or I'm an artist, or I like this and I like that, they're not true descriptors of you. In fact, actually nothing can be a true descriptor of you because consciousness is formless. If you could define consciousness, then it would be of form. And if it's of form, then it is arising in consciousness because consciousness sees all form. So when you recognize that, then you can do the letting go technique more efficiently because you're not as identified with the emotions and thoughts. You become more skillful at discerning your true self from ego and actually being able to like relax and allow all these sensations to come up in the space in which you are. And ultimately what happens is these emotions, when you build this level of awareness and acceptance of them, they stop running your life. They stop running your life on every single level. Whether that's the actions that you take, whether it's your beliefs, your ambition, everything. So I think this is literally the most important thing that a human being can ultimately do, is to let go of what isn't serving them anymore. Because a lot of us, we live our lives run by these programs inside of us, And a lot of these programs are just instilled into us by society and instilled into us by our families when we're growing up. And a lot of them aren't helpful. So if you take a look around, you'll see a lot of people who are running around frantically in their life like chickens with their heads cut off, not knowing why they're doing what they're doing, but yet frantically in fear. So I think a lot of ambition stems out of fear. I was kind of saying this in my last video. Ambition that hasn't come from a place of genuine acceptance of your, I guess, dark side and your negative emotions is ambition that is fraudulent. It is not real inspiration. I think if I could say it in words, inspiration is a positive form of ambition, and ambition is a negative emotion, actually. Because having ambition is not like a specific thing, if that makes sense. Having ambition is you have an internal drive and non-specifically to just be better. Whereas inspiration is a specific drive to do something that aligns with your true self, that aligns with who you are when you've removed all of the crap inside of you. And would we rather live our lives constantly run by these programs that lead us astray and then wonder why we're depressed when we're 50 years old? Or would we rather tackle this head on and find like our true freedom and find our true inspiration and build a life off that instead? I think that choice is like extremely obvious. But it takes a lot of time and pain. Because the way that these programs run us is we don't want to feel the pain of that program coming up. So in order to flee from that pain, we abide in what it tells us, is how I see the world. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, if you're afraid of going to a party, that fear, if not digested and not looked at from a space of awareness, runs you through your trying to flee from it. So the way you try to flee from that fear of going to the party is by not going to the party. Because then you don't have to feel that fear. Or let's say you have a fear of not being enough, not being good enough. You are going to run away from feeling the pain of that fear by reckless ambition to feel good enough. Because you don't want to feel not good enough. You don't want to feel not good enough. And you don't want to have to experience that fear of not being good enough. So it runs your life by you chasing things you don't actually care about. I honestly just made this theory up right now, but let's see if we can keep going with it. Anger. I don't know how I'm going to describe anger. I'm going to try to do it right now. Anger. The pain of anger. What does an angry person do to escape the pain of feeling that anger? They hurt other people because then it makes them feel righteous. It makes them feel right in their anger. Because if you accept your anger, then you have to admit that it's not necessarily right, and it hates that. It fucking hates that. Or you project your anger onto other people. You say like, this person did me wrong. I want to hurt them. This person or this thing didn't go the way that I wanted. Now I'm mad. So you project that anger onto an external circumstance. I don't know if my theory fully stood up in that test, but yeah, regardless, I still believe that an unprocessed emotion runs our life. And so if you analyze your life, how much of your life are you doing things based off of like faulty programming? Like, that's a scary thought. That's a scary thought. How much of your life are you basing off of faulty programming? Like, what percentage of your daily activities are run by things that aren't genuine to you, that have been instilled in you and are negative? Like, we have work to do, yeah. We have jobs to go to. We have errands to run, things to do. Let's say that takes up 10 hours in a day. And you have 8 hours of sleep. Now you got 6 hours. How much of those 6 hours are you spending avoiding things and out of fear? Maybe like being more ambitious towards something you don't actually care about. When you can fully let go of all the negative things, then you spend your time more in alignment with your true inspirations. I was saying in the other video, like, if you can drop back to zero, then you can rebuild. I think Carl Jung had like he had this thing on like people leaving society for a bit and coming back different. And I'm not necessarily saying that you got to leave society. I am saying that you need to like sit with yourself more. And there's something in that where like you kind of withdraw to reanalyze and come back genuine, rather than like continuously being on the hamster wheel. Yeah. Because when you're always on the hamster wheel, like, there are some people that are always on the hamster wheel and that actually never get off the hamster wheel. And it's incredibly sad because they have no consciousness. No consciousness. And there's no chance for consciousness. It's like it's like the law of momentum. It's like the more momentum you have in one direction, the harder it is to change it. Well, if you're busy all the time, you're never gonna see the things that are causing you to be busy all the time. Just a weird thought I just had. But if you can at least spend, a little bit of time each day just sitting with yourself and allowing all these things to come up and not judging them. I'm very yawny today. And staying with them, then you're better off, in my opinion. And I also believe, though, that the opposite is true. Like, a lot of people can't handle too much space, too much nothing. They'll start to go loopy. So I think if you are more on the end of spending too much free time alone, you need to start filling it slowly with things that you do care about. But things that you do care about, not just like crap because you feel like you got to fill your time. Things you actually care about. Like things you want to do, or things that you think are like truly beneficial for your growth. Not like fear. Like I think I said this in another video too. If it feels frantic, like you picking something to do, like, oh, what am I gonna do with my day? What am I gonna do with my day? Oh God, I gotta do this, gotta do this. If it feels frantic and out of fear, just take a step back. True inspiration does not involve fear. It does not involve fear. There may be fear at like the steps to take in the path of that inspiration, but that's natural. But the inspiration itself should not stem from fear. That's a huge point. That's a huge point. I think I'm gonna make a video like directly on that. Just fear-based ambition. Yeah. I'm gonna make a video on that. Okay, peace out. See you in the next one. Love you.